Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial on how to use Sentinel WMS software. This tutorial will cover setting up Sentinel software to successfully communicate to controllers in the field. There are several methods of communicating to a Sentinel controller from the WMS software. In this illustration, it indicates some of the most common communication forms from Sentinel software to a field controller. When using Ethernet or cell data modems, you must first obtain the static IP address and designated port number assigned to the device. The IP address should come from the Internet Service Provider or the customer's IT department providing Internet connection to the Sentinel controller. In a previous tutorial, we covered how to create satellites and systems in the Sentinel WMS software. I will open a new satellite controller and begin the setup process of establishing communication to this field unit. The new satellite controller has a unit number of 104. When I click on this controller from the Satellite tab, it opens a full menu. The first menu items are associated with the initial setup of the controller. The next group are for day-to-day programming operations of the controller, and the bottom group allows for operation and status of stations and programs. I select the special data screen to begin. Setup functions are represented by individual tabs with the information relevant to this specific controller. From the special data tabs, I then select the COM settings tab. This screen allows me to set up the communication method and information needed to successfully communicate to my new controller. The method of communication to my controller will dictate what I enter on this screen. If I have a base radio connected directly to my computer, then I need to select the appropriate COM port. This tells the software to send the information through this port to the radio, which communicates out to the controller. If my COM port is above COM4, then I enter the COM port using this box. If Ethernet or cell data modem is the method of communication to the controller, then I enter the designated IP address or URL name in this line. If this line is grayed out, then check the profile setting at the top of the COM settings tab, and it should show either unknown or IP. This allows for the input of the designated name or IP address to your field unit. Make sure to hit Save at the top of the Special Data tab. It is now saved to your Sentinel database on your computer. Now I'm ready to test my communication to this controller. The first communication to this controller needs to be the firmware version. This is located on the General tab in Special Data. Switch to this tab and select the Receive button next to the empty boxes on Firmware version. A communication box appears and indicates whether a successful communication occurs. If it does, then the firmware version appears in the previous empty boxes. This tells your Sentinel software the capabilities of the controller and either grays out or allows certain functions to appear. There will also be a status icon next to the controller under the Satellite tab. If communication fails, the communication box will turn red and you will see a broken chain on the left side of your screen next to the controller. Verify the COM port setting, IP address, or other relevant information and try again. Once you have successfully communicated to the controller, receive firmware, and save to the software, all screens are accessible for programming and operation. In the next tutorial, we will discuss programming a Sentinel controller using the automatic operation screen from the Sentinel WMS software. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.